after this speech than they were going into it. Thanks. Yep.
Last we heard, you guys sent a new counteroffer to the White House. Did they ever respond to that, or is it radio silence? What's the status of the talk?
There hasn't been any real recent communication with the White House. Our position, as Democrats, continues to be, listen, we need dramatic, meaningful, bold, transformational reform with ICE. The American people know ICE is out of control, and they need to be reined in. Kristi Noem's got to go, but we don't just need a change in personnel, we need a change in policy, and that has to be dramatic. And until Republicans come to that conclusion, then the DHS funding bill is not going to be in a position to move forward.
So with DHS funding lapse at the moment, there's over 40,000 Coast Guard members who are going to go without a paycheck in 3 days, and there are some members of your caucus who also call for FEMA assistance following blizzards this weekend. And ICE is fully funded through the One Big Beautiful Bill, so is now a time to alleviate the pain on some of these agencies and allow yourselves to push forward with negotiations while these problems are solved and funding is restored?
Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They've been lecturing the American people since November of 2024 that the country was in the midst of some massive MAGA takeover. Clearly that hasn't happened, but it's in their head. And so the notion that when the government either fully shuts down, which took place during the 43-day Trump Republican shutdown in the fall, or the DHS shutdown, is the fault of anyone other than Republicans, nobody's buying it. Just like the American people didn't buy it in the fall. Republicans have made an intentional decision that they would rather shut down FEMA, shut down the Coast Guard, and shut down TSA than actually reform ICE and get them under control so that ICE agents behave like every other law enforcement agency in the country. That's all we're asking for. Conduct yourself in a manner consistent with every other law enforcement agency in the country. And unfortunately, Republicans, at least to date, have been reluctant to do it. But the American people have abandoned them, even on immigration enforcement, where Donald Trump's public approval ratings are way underwater on an issue that he thought was his signature issue. That's gone, just like the rest of his presidency.
With regard to Iran, is there anything you anticipate that you could hear that would allow the Democrats to support military action in Iran?
The American people are of the view, first of all, let's be clear about Iran. There was a military strike executed by Donald Trump last year. We were told that the nuclear program in Iran had been completely and totally obliterated. Not my words, Donald Trump's words. And so now we're to believe that there's an exigent circumstance where Donald Trump may need to strike militarily in order to prevent Iran, presumably, from achieving its nuclear ambitions. Wait, what happened to Iran's nuclear program being completely and totally obliterated? Donald Trump's words, not our words. Clearly, he was lying to the American people, or he's lying right now. And so there's nothing that he can say to the American people that will have any degree of credibility at this point in time. I'm interested, and I'll listen to what members of his administration are going to say at this secure briefing. But I also plan to press them on the claim that Donald Trump himself made about the Iranian nuclear program and what the great urgency is right now that you've assembled an armada, potentially dragging America into another failed, foreign, forever war that is doomed to hurt the American people, not help us. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah.